It's time for another interprovincial caller. We have Mr. Drew Brown calling from somewhere in Alberta. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, actually, I'm in Edmonton right now, the glorious city of Edmonton.
Fantastic. Welcome to the show.
Mm-hmm. It's great to be here.
So, Drew, just to give our listeners a little bit of background, you are a student of politics. In fact, you're doing your PhD out in Edmonton, right?
Yes, I'm in my second year of a PhD in political science, doing Canadian politics and political theory. So,
fantastic.
Yeah, I follow a little bit of politics, I suppose.
Just a drop.
Just a bit.
So I'm supposing that you have lots to say about the current political situation here in your home province. So without further ado, give me and our listeners an analysis of, what Middle Canada thinks about the resignation or the stepping down of the 10th Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Well, I guess the best way to put that is that most of Canada outside the province doesn't really seem to care. It vanished from the news feed almost immediately this morning. A few people have asked me about it around campus, mostly, and they're like, "Why is the Premier resigning? What's going on?" So I tried to explain to them the sort of the mess of the past 4 days were Paul Lane defects, which I can't. It's really hard to convey exactly how shocking that is. That would be if Dean Del Mastro suddenly came out and proclaimed his undying love for Trudeau. It's that level of surreality, right?
That's a very good comparison.
And so that's what's so surprising about it, right? And then, the fact that this is related to the blackouts, it's been a really, I just think we should pause and reflect on, how weird the last, 3 days have been. It's not like we didn't see Dunderdale's resignation coming. People have been calling for it for months. It's been on everybody's lips, every single time there was ever, a show of analysis, people have been asking, well, when's she going to resign? But I just don't think anybody expected it to be this sequence of events, right? That Paul Lane defects, and then she had to cut her vacation short, and the entire house of cards implodes. It's crazy. It's just wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it certainly is. The implosion, one would say, was almost staved off by her stepping down today, and after many polls which put the Progressive Conservative Party consistently in last place, why was this one the critical one?
Yeah, and it's I'm not totally sure what it is. I honestly think even from watching the speech today, she's still, she did it very gracefully. It was a very good speech, but there was still it wasn't quite like it was a response to, the ongoing sort of the bad polls and even the blackout crisis situation. It was, she was circumstances had finally forced her into doing this because she couldn't continue for very long after Paul Lane defects. That is so strange and so weird and such a total blow to the party apparatus that she had no other choice. But I still don't get the sense that it was a real recognition of just how bad things actually are. It was just, you have no other alternative. Well,
there was not much to gain for her to do it any other way, truly.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't going to say anything. I was just saying, honestly, I'm honestly surprised she even, came back from Florida. If that was me, I would have just said, all right, peace, guys, you're on your own. I wouldn't cut my vacation short. But then again, that's probably why I'm not ever going to be elected as a politician.
Well, sometimes it's important to have those who poke at the icons from a distance, as important as it is to have those to be engaged in the political sphere itself. There has to be critics on all levels, and we depend as a civilization on those who go through the process of studying in the so-called ivory towers to give us the more knowledge and analysis than sometimes we feel we require. But always in historical context, it's very interesting. What is the focus of your studies out there, Drew? Are you looking at all in Newfoundland politics, or are you ensconced in the realm of Alberta? And tell me, how many other Newfoundlanders are there in Alberta in the university scene? I'm curious.
I can't speak for the whole university scene. Within our department, actually, a very good friend of mine is an expat townie. She moved away when she was about 16, but she's also in the program, so we hang out a lot. There are a few sort of one generation removed people in the general vicinity. So there's definitely a presence. in terms of my focus of studies, right now I'm doing comprehensive exams, which is this really sort of hellish project.
This is where you lose your hair, right?
Yeah, so this is like they force you to go and you have to read everything that's been written in your 2 fields of study and then write 2 giant papers explaining what you read and how you feel about it, and then defend it to like a panel of 5 professors. Like, this is like every anxiety nightmare you've ever had compressed into one like 6-month thing. So right now I'm sort of embroiled in that. It's really hard to fit Newfoundland politics into Canadian politics because most Canadian political scientists don't care. They see us as largely irrelevant. You know, it's sort of like we're just like Maritimes plus one.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm sort of like part of my project is like challenging that idea of Canada, which weirdly it's almost like a duty to like Newfoundland academics. It's really hard to explain this. I met a guy, Jeff Collins. I think he's at Kelton right now. Anyway, we do totally different like research projects, but we also do like stuff about Newfoundland on the side because like you almost have to, because it's like if you don't do it, who else is going to do it?
Right.
You know, and he said it to me one time that we were out at a bar, I think, after a presentation where he's like, you know, it's like you have like a duty to Newfoundland to do projects, right? And I'm like, yes, that's exactly how it is. It's this really weird thing, but
Certainly.
like you have to do it because nobody else will.
Those who live away and work away are ambassadors of the province, and if you're in the industry that you're in, which is the brain industry, it's your duty to pass on knowledge on paper of the province. That's quite fascinating, and we certainly appreciate it down here. And of course, you will be coming back afterwards, right?
I mean, that's the plan. I don't know when or how things are going to change, but I mean, I would like to eventually, for sure. I don't know how much the current or possible future governments will appreciate me being a cultural ambassador for the place, but we'll see.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Drew, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, and I do think that we should continue this hopefully in the days to come. But we do have one last call of the night, and it's the leader of the NDP. So if you'll
fantastic.
Accept my polite apologies, I think we have room for one more caller, and thank you. And let's talk more about the ambassadorship of Newfoundlanders in Alberta next week. It's something I want to focus on. It's the live a ways as opposed to the come from a ways. So let's do it.
Yeah, no, it's a good sort of field study. But yes, excellent. I look forward to hearing what Lorraine has to say. It should be very good.
Fantastic.
Good, excellent show.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
Take care.
Okay, bye.
Whoops, I cut him off before he said goodbye. Please don't hold it against me, Drew.